Right then, did Armando Resendiz cheat against Caleb Plant with all the headbutts going on? And look, I do want to say this. I think that, it was a little bit dirty from Armando Resendiz here and there. 100% it was. There's proof of it throughout the fight. But do I think it made a massive impact on why Caleb Plant lost and got beat down badly in that fight? No, I do not. But it doesn't change the fact I feel like Armando Resendiz was fighting very dirty in that fight. And here we go. We've got a short here to show kind of as well.
Headbutt. Look at the headbutt.
So yeah, you saw him there going right
and
with the head.
Look at the headbutt.
Having a word with him. And right here again, battling with the heads, kind of pushing Caleb Plant's head back a bit here with his head. He's fighting dirty, and he was with, his high pressure style.
The referee telling him,
and
Resendiz, you can't be hitting him in the head.
And I feel like this is the one here where
like that.
This is like, what is he doing here? Literally pushing at Caleb Plant's jaw with his head. That is dirty. That is very, very, very dirty. And that is cheating, trying to get his way in the clinch with headbutts, cheeky headbutts that he's hoping nobody notices, but he's been caught in 4K.
I'm on the phone for the short.
Yeah, and then again there, you see him trying to push up at his head, trying to kind of push up at his jaw, trying to push up at his chin. I feel like that is something which is pretty dodgy in my opinion, to be honest.
And look at that. Oh, running.
He tried falling in the clinch again. But I mean, we're looking at again. But
look at the head. But
again, you can't tell me it's not intentional. Catches him with the head, moves it. Yeah, you can't tell me that's not intentional from what we've just seen. Very clearly, that is intentional from Armando Resendiz. Very clearly, it is. You can't tell me that it's not.
But look at the head. But. And it could look at the head, but
luckily the ref saw it. But I feel like the referee throughout the fight could have been a bit more proactive about all of this. That is what I think. I feel like the referee could have been a bit more proactive with this in the fight. I do.
The referee telling Resendiz,
and
you can't be hitting him in the head like that. I'm on the phone,
and that is dodgy for me. And again, when he's in this position, we just saw him do it. Then he's then about to push up. Basically almost
and look at that.
Move his head away. It is strange in my opinion, and it is cheating. It is cheating. It is blatant headbutts, and it's not getting spoken about enough by a lot of these, guys in the media and all that. It's not getting spoken enough by enough fans either, in my opinion. Not enough people are calling out this situation, and I find that strange. I mean, look, it's a massive upset, and fair play to Armando Resendiz. He fought well for the majority of the fight, but with some, dirty moments in there, it's got to be said. It's got to be said. It wasn't a full-on, very clean win. And I feel like, there was more from what we just saw in that clip. I can't find, any other proof on it apart from that clip. I feel like it was clear to see, their heads were very close in the clinch. And Armando Resendiz throughout the fight was kind of pushing at him in that clinch. And, Armando Resendiz was coming forward a lot with his head, trying to dig in. Josh Warrington would be proud of what Armando Resendiz was doing there in parts of that fight, if we're being completely honest. I feel like Resendiz was always trying to find any old trick in the book to try and get the better of Caleb Plant in the clinch. And look, I'm not saying this because, I'm salty that Caleb Plant lost and that the Jamal Charlo fight's off. That's not the case at all. I love when upsets happen. I love upsets. But there was some very dirty play in it, and it was clear to see in front of all of our eyes that it was. That there was dirty stuff going on there. And I feel like, it's nothing that is massively shameful or anything, because it did happen loads, but there were more incidents where it did happen. I don't feel like it played a massive factor in the fight, but it is bad. It is bad. He blatantly, was playing dirty there. And, he's not the only guy to do it. There are so many of these guys who do it. But there is the fact, and, we've just saw Armando Resendiz was playing dirty in that fight to try and get his own way in those clinches. And, one of them, you can't tell me it's not intentional, because one of them went straight up at the jaw. He literally tried to go right at Caleb Plant's chin with his head. That is what Armando Resendiz went to try and do. And yeah, it's dirty. It's not good. You don't really want to see that kind of thing happen when, a massive feel-good upset happened. But you look back and think, Armando Resendiz was playing dirty in that fight. He was playing dirty. I feel like it might be a bit, if anything as well, I feel like I'm being nice about this situation, not, fully going in on him for it. I feel like, I don't think I'm fully slacking him off for it. People might think I am, but, I'm not being salty here at all. I'm not at all. This is just proof that we have got. And if anything, I don't think I'm talking down on it enough, to be honest with you, in this video. But I feel like there's got to be more and more people who call this whole thing out. And that's just not been the case. And it's a shame. It's a shame. But look, Armando Resendiz won the fight, and he was able to just beat down Caleb Plant. And these headbutts, I don't think, played a massive factor. We didn't headbutt him and really, fully stun Caleb Plant. But, I feel like, in ways it did have the odd effect here and there. And Caleb Plant felt it. Of course he did. Caleb Plant felt it. But, yeah, I feel like, again, there's just not enough people that want to talk about it because they're just so happy that we saw the upset and the result, I think, of not seeing Plant and Charlo now, and the fact that Armando Resendiz won the fight and caused one of the biggest upsets this year, is being overshadowed by dirty play in the fight. So that's my opinion on it all. That's my opinion on this whole situation. And yeah, it does need to be talked about. It does need to be called out. 100% it does. That's my opinion. Anyway, thank you all for watching, and I will speak to you in the next